Actually, I said natural. She's supposed something natural, but the vagus nerve was the thing. I mean, everyone's looking for how do you support your vagus nerve outside of standing in a cold shower or cold plunging, which I've tried the cold shower. I don't know if you're like me, but I like it hotter than hot. And I'm like,
Yes.
I can't
Do
handle
not get me
it.
in. I will not do an ice plunge. Like,
So,
I know that people are like, some people are hardcore like that, and they're like, I'll do an ice bath. You will not find me in an ice bath unless my life is on the line. You know what I mean?
exactly. Exactly. I didn't have as many ailments. I didn't really know. All I knew was if it could support your gut and your hormones and your neurological health and, help support inflammation. I just know those are key things that cause us disease down the road. So
Yeah.
for me, it was just buying into the mindset of, okay, I don't have an expectation that a lot's going to change for me because I'm trying to be on a health path regardless.
Mhm.
But I want anything in my system that continues to keep that strong. And so I have slept better. I think I'm a good sleeper, but I sleep sound, or I'm definitely in deep sleep much longer, which is a big deal. I'm working on my gut health. I do have an autoimmune condition that kind of affects the mucus secreting glands of your body. So I've always had a slow GI system. It is much better. I'm giving it time, like something to talk about is these aren't miracles that everyone's going to get improvement in 30 days. So I always tell people
Mhm.
if you expect a whole life change in 30 days, it's probably not for you. This is a long journey. This is how is it going to cycle through your system over and over and over, keeping your body out of stress to allow the healing to take place. And it will slowly start to put building blocks back, but everyone's journey will be 100% different.
Right.
um,
Yeah. Helen
yeah.
mentioned in the comments, isn't there vagus nerve exercises you could do? Absolutely. And in the ER, we would do some of those, right?
Sure.
But they're very temporary, short term,
Yes.
right?
20
This is
minutes.
actually putting your body, is activating the vagus nerve for 9.5 hours,
Mhm.
which is a really big deal. And I would love for you to
Let's
talk
talk about that a
about
little.
the visceral fat,
Yes, big deal. So it
please.
does two things, and maybe we could talk a little just like what is the product? Because Helen doesn't know. So
Mhm.
we'll kind of just do a highlight real quick.
Yes.
MAG3, matured hops extract, is a portion of the hops plant, very different than hops extract that you're going to find on Amazon. They work in two completely different ways. As our herbalist Allison shares, one plant has many different functions, depend on where you're getting the concentration of support from. So
Mhm.
this is the bitter acids in the hops plant. How it works is it activates those bitter receptors in our body that God created to protect us. When it realizes that's not a threat, different than other extracts that you'd hold under your tongue, you actually drink this because we want it to get to those. It activates the vagus nerve, and that's how we get the reduction in stress response. Well, it's been studied for over 60 years. We already know what it does, and like you said, it keeps us out of stress for up to 9 hours, which is a really big deal.
Mhm.
When we talk about things like vagus nerve exercises, cold plunging, humming, singing, grounding, all of those are just added benefits. But I think in most of the stuff that I've read, they've only last or give you an effect for somewhere around 20 minutes.
Mhm.
So unless you could be doing that all day long, that's why it takes so long for us to actually find results from that. And most people don't stick with it.
Yeah.
So it's really, all of those things are great. I love all the holistic options. One just for peace of mind and mental health. Like we should be doing that. But if you really want to get the vagus nerve to activate or get out of a stress response and into rest and digest, you have to find something more effective. And this is what we found.
Yeah, I love that. And they're simple. So, one of the things that people will ask a lot behind the scenes is, does it taste nasty? And it's like,
Right.
no, actually, there's zero taste.
Mm-hmm. Lost you.
Can you hear me okay still?
Okay, just went back on.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Someone was trying to call me, but there's zero taste whatsoever. It does not leave like an aftertaste, and there's no odor. So basically, what you're doing is you're taking one dropper full, okay, and putting it in liquid. And it could be, little glass of water, it could be coffee, tea, whatever you choose, and then just drinking it down so that it's
Mhm.
activating those receptors in the back of your throat and getting all the way down to your gut.
Yeah.
Now, I did actually hear Dr. Ben Bauer say that if anybody has any gastric issues whatsoever or digestive issues, to make sure that you're eating prior to taking the drops, because there's some pathways that get activated and some that get closed off when you're taking the drops. It's the process of how they work to activating the vagus nerve.
Sure.
So
And then the other awesome thing, because I kind of backtracked, is the effect on visceral fat. So it
yes.
does two things. It activates the vagus nerve and it helps burn visceral fat. So some of the things you might see that we send might say, weight loss. This isn't really a weight loss pill. What it can do is help burn visceral fat. Visceral fat's the deep fat around our organs. Almost everyone has some of that, no matter how big you are or small. And that is what holds on to toxins. That is what slowly leaks out and causes that low level inflammation we talk about. And
Mhm.
then inflammation in turn and toxins will lead to disease, whether that be cardiovascular, diabetes, insulin insufficiency, weight gain, all the things that we see all the time in our friends and family. So
Mhm.
when we talk about getting inflammation under control, the first thing we have to do is help get rid of visceral fat, because that's a primary cause of it. And this also helps burn that for up to 9.5 hours. You could take it multiple times a day. People that have had a lot of trauma or have a lot of imbalance in their system, you can take it twice a day and continue that process for longer periods in the day. It has anti-inflammatory properties, antimicrobial, so it could actually kill bacteria if you do it enough. So it's pretty miraculous for something that is flavorless, colorless, has zero interactions, by the way. And they know that because of all the data that they've done in the 60 years that they've been studying it. No one's ever dropped out or had to stop a medication, dropped out from a side effect or stop a medication. So we don't know
That's a
of any
huge deal.
any interactions with it. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, safe for, children all the way to elderly. People are giving it to their pets. So that in itself is another, you kind of have nothing to lose. It's either going to work or not do anything for you.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Absolutely. Now, I am personally taking the drops in the morning when I wake up. Even though I do have gut health issues, I actually do fine with it without eating. So everybody just kind of has their own little thing, right? I take it in the morning, I drink it with just a little bit of water, chug it down. I noticed personally, this is just for me, is that the sooner I get it in my body, the more mental clarity I experience immediately.
Yes.
And that could be because I've been on them for 5 months now. So it's
Yeah.
almost instant for me now. And it's really, and I don't drink a lot of caffeine. I'm very sensitive to caffeine, actually. But then I take it again at night with dinner. That's what I
Yeah.
do. So it is about 9 hours. I do,
Yeah.
and I personally made that decision after listening to Dr. Ben Bowers and all the things that I had, from my history. And I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you that this is so beautiful. I love markers. I love to like track and have metrics and see like, okay, where are we at? There definitely is an app that you can download that you could do
Mm-hmm.
a side by side comparison where it does kind of like a body scan and it shows you a profile of your body so that you can see the inflammation decreasing over time.
Mm-hmm.
You could do a side by side every 2 weeks. And I highly recommend people do that. For me, because I'm clearly growing, right? Another human, I actually went by lab work. So when I started the drops, I had lab work done 2 days prior with my OB, which my OB is absolutely loving what I'm doing,
Love
by
it.
the way. So 2 weeks or 2 days, a couple days prior, and then we did a comparison. It was a month later, and so almost every month I'm getting my lab work done. And I do want to give a background. Again, this is baby number 9. I had gestational diabetes with the last pregnancy. I also had preeclampsia with all my pregnancies,
Mm.
every single one of them. So another reason why I wanted to get on them was to help prevent that, right? For
Yeah.
me, I felt like if I can put something natural in my body and not have to take all the things, that there's a whole list of stuff that they want me to take, and I just am not,
Mm-hmm.
it's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it more on a natural level. Christine, my blood sugar, I don't have to, I was checking it 3 times a day. The doctor's like, you don't have to check it
Oh
anymore.
my
You are
God.
completely cleared. Your sugars have been amazing. My blood pressure is always hovering at 120/79,
Oh my
121/80.
gosh.
Like it's could not be any better at all.
Unbelievable.
The fact that I am standing and doing this live video and not seeing like those flutters from preeclampsia or having like massive swelling everywhere. I am starting to swell a little bit now, but not nowhere near like what,
Amazing.
yeah, like what I would have experienced with the other pregnancies. It is a mind blowing. And I do want to say, you were talking
I love
about
that.
nerve pain, right?
Yeah.
You were talking a little bit about nerve pain. I have a hip injury as well, where um, in the ER, I was actually assaulted by a patient and he kicked me right on my pubis symphysis and it popped out. And I was actually 2 months pregnant
Gosh.
several babies ago and it popped out. So as the baby was growing, my bones would turn and there was nothing you could really do. I went through physical
Wow.
therapy for 5 years for it. And usually with every pregnancy, I am aware that this is going to, it's going to exacerbate and I'm going to have pain and there's chances it'll pop out. I have not experienced any of that
Amazing.
this pregnancy.
Amazing. That's crazy.
This is why I call them
That's
miracle drops.
unbelievable.
Like, I don't even know what else to say
They are.
except for I know what I'm feeling in my own body,
And I
right?
think what if you could just take stress away, right? Out of the body, get your body into more of a rested place, anything could happen.
Yeah,
So maybe we should say we don't claim to treat, cure, or diagnose anything. These
right,
are natural. Everyone's response will be 100% different. We can't guarantee you're not going to have hip pain,
right,
but
right.
I mean, when you understand the concept of a stress state in your body, whatever that's coming from, causing all these other ailments, the possibilities are really endless of what this could help with.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. The nervous system, you said rest and digest. Okay, I just want to hone in on that and then we can wrap it up from here. But oh, and I also do want to talk about this just very briefly, because
Oh,
we are
shit.
doing our I'm doing a giveaway.
Okay.
So very briefly at the end, we're going to talk about actual subcutaneous fat loss because that's
Yep.
the next season of my life, sister. After having this baby. But when you talk about rest and digest, can you just give a little synopsis around that so that people can really understand what it means when you're saying rest and digest?
Yeah. So I guess maybe in layman's terms, when you're in fight or flight or stress state, if your body feels stress, if you're not sleeping, your cortisol's off, that's a stressor on your body. Rest and digest means bringing your nervous system into balance. Homeostasis, just balance is the simplest term. And so when we settle down that stress response in the body, that's rest and digest. You can start to heal yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Again, healing is different for everyone, but as this cycles through your system and starts to say, this is misplaced and this is misplaced, because our bodies are incredibly smart, it will start to help shift those building blocks back into place. And
Mm-hmm.
it might start very simple, like the mental clarity brain fog thing, or the sleeping. The longer you do it, I really believe the healthier you'll get and the more effects you'll get, positive effects.
Mm-hmm.
The studies were 12 weeks long, so I always recommend people do no less than that. Don't judge it on 2 weeks worth. You're not going to
Right.
lose 25 pounds in 2 weeks. It's not what it's for. You're not going to have everything, back in place. This is a journey of health and longevity.
Yeah.
So
And the gut health aspect is
yes,
huge.
gut health,
Absolutely huge.
helping your gut microbiome kind of rebalance, which actually Dr. Bowers, I think I heard him say he did stool studies in his own clinical trials at his practice and
Hmm.
saw that the gut microbiome was changing in a positive way just by
Hmm.
adding drops. Like, that's unheard of. And gut brain connection, people that have mood disorders, the gut is usually a primary cause of that. So when you have anxieties and depressions, what is your gut doing?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, those
so
are all really big deal. So I'm excited about this and I want to respect your time. I'm so
yeah,
grateful that you jumped on with me.
of course.
And I'm actually really grateful that you're my friend now. So here we go.
Yes, me too.
As we
Me
step into
too.
this next season, I do want to mention that we do have our fit drink. And this is something that I've briefly talked
Me
about.
too. I'm kind of new to it,
Yes.
really.
I'm not really drinking it. I do sneak some from my husband's often because it tastes really good to me,
Good.
but I just want to share what's in it. So it's packed with vitamin C, bilberry, is it elderberry,
Elderberry. Yeah.
guarana,
Yep.
and grapeseed extract. Okay, so there's 5 things in it that actually act as, like, this can literally act as an immunity booster, which is
Hmm.
super amazing. For that aspect, I'm all for. The other part of it is that it helps to burn subcutaneous fat. So that's what we
Yeah.
reference as the jiggly fat. So Christine was
Yeah.
talking about the visceral fat. The drops help with the internal fat that surrounds your organs. That's the visceral fat. Okay. Now, this drink, for someone who wants to have, they want to actually lose pounds, they want to lose
Hmm.
some of this jiggly, right? I know I have the baby, but like the extras, after I have this baby, I'm going to have a lot of extra, right? And so I'm going to be on this journey of adding this drink. I'll be doing 2 of the drops a day, 2 dropperfuls a day, different times, and then one of the drinks. Now, you put the drink in water. Personally, when I make my husband's,
Hmm.
I just do it in a mason jar like this, one of the big mason jars,
Yeah.
drop a whole packet in, and it actually looks like lava flow. It's so cool how it just
Hmm.
dissolves right into the water, and he sips on it throughout the day. Now, people are noticing really great results with this. It actually is. Can you tell us a little? Do you know about how it's working a little bit?
I don't. I haven't really dove into it. I take it and I just started being consistent with it and I'm loving it. I know the botanicals, the blend of botanicals that are in that help increase your metabolic rate. So metabolic rate is basically your metabolism. A
Right.
lot of us work desk jobs or we're not being active. Now, I would never say this should replace activity. One, cardiovascular support, you need to get moving. You want to sleep, you got to get moving, but it will help increase caloric burn, 400 to 500 calories a day without any stimulation. So that's really great. I always laugh because I'm from the like hydroxy cut days where you go to
Oh my
Walgreens and
gosh. Yes. If
it's not like
anybody
that.
knows about
This is
that,
actually
you're in our
healthy.
era.
This is healthy. This isn't going to do that, but it doesn't stimulate you. It just helps to increase your own fat burning capabilities.
By
And
30 to
I
35%, which is
Yeah,
huge.
it's a major deal. And the combination that we're now starting to learn with Fix and Fit are really, they work synergistically.
Hmm.
The Fix is really going to help with the inflammation, the deep fat, that's really for disease. You need that. I mean, for me, you have to be on that one. The
Yeah.
Fix is an added bonus of that soft subcutaneous. So you'll get inches and then you'll get pounds, which is what everyone wants. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Stephanie Worthern is on here and she totally is loving both. I'm telling you, I'm super excited about it. I know that I'm 43 years young, pregnant with baby number 9. And once I have her, I am really excited to get back
So good.
me, right?
It's good. I have not used, I swear by the Me 360 app, but I'm not the best to do what I tell others to do. I did it yesterday after 2 months. I think I did the last one. I was blown away and it makes you put in your weight. I don't get on the scale.
Hmm.
I was shocked. I'm down 7 pounds and I don't lose weight. I mean, there's not a thing. I said, if anything helps me lose a pound, I've got to shout it out because it's not that simple. I don't have a lot maybe to lose, but I've got the 10 to 12 pound perimenopause weight that I'd love to get rid of, and nothing really helps. So I don't have a high expectation.
Hmm.
I was actually like, that can't be right. I'm going to weigh myself again tomorrow. Like, what? And those are the only things I do use our 4 products: Fulvic, Fix, Fit, and I added an Emulin because I do believe just balancing sugars makes sense,
Yeah.
not because I have an issue, but I'm just blown away. They work great. They're natural. They're safe. And
I think we
yeah,
need to do another follow-up episode where we break those down
yeah, me
because
too.
I geek out on all of that. Like, I just
There's
feel
some
like,
really good ones.
honestly, I feel like we landed a gold mine. I don't even know what's happening, but I'm like, I'm here for it and I just want to